You might be different. You might be different. And there is nothing wrong with that. Hey, 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 hey. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Goode Soil. I have no idea what that was, but sometimes I just have this urge to do something different and switch up the hi and welcome to Goode Soil. And that's what came out today. So I don't know what that was, but I hope you enjoyed it because it felt like right. It felt good. So no regrets. No regrets. I'm sure I'm gonna rewatch it and be like, I have some regrets, but none in the moment. So well, welcome to another episode of Goode Soil. Thank you for tuning in and continuing to support this channel. I'm so grateful for my audience and just this community where we can be vulnerable and honest and as truthful as possible, or at least I try to tell my truth and my experience and what I've learned about life. So thank you for listening and for being supportive of that. Today we have a good question, per usual, honestly. All of the questions I feel like have been good questions, but this one I feel like just really hits an emotional spot in my heart because I relate heavy. So let's dive right in. It goes like, Dear Goode Soil, why do I feel so different compared to others? I want so badly to fit in, but it's like I'm missing something that everyone else has. Dear Goode Soil, why do I feel so different compared to others? I want so badly to fit in, but it's like I'm missing something that everyone else has. So first of all, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you on a deep level. Because I feel you. So thank you for asking this question, this hella relatable question that I think I'd like to think all of us have experienced at one point or another, which makes me think we're not all that different, even if we do feel different. But I've actually been having this conversation with people in my, friend group recently, which has been really cathartic and really just, it's so funny because when you do relate to others in your differences, like even though you feel like an outcast sometimes, if you could at least just find one person, even if it's not even a person you know, but like you're watching this and maybe you are at a moment in your life where you don't have any friends and you struggle to make friends and you feel more at peace and safe when you're alone. And so making friends has been hard for you. So I don't want to make it seem like, the only way you can be relatable is to have friends or to have how am I going to say this? I get not having friends to relate to in this way, and that is why you feel different and like an outcast. And I just hope that this moment and this video lets you know that you're not alone and that I get you. And if I'm the person or someone else you watch on YouTube or someone else in your circle allows you to feel less alone, that is the goal. So I understand and I relate to this so much. And I think I said this in another video, but a lot of the times what did I just say? Was that even like a coherent, I should re-record, but I'm like, I'm going to go with it. I'm trying to just go and be authentic. And if it comes out crazy, it's just a part of how I talk and not be hard on myself. But thinking back, I'm like, was that even a sentence? Or like a thought? So you let me know. But, I think a lot of the times the answers to our questions are in the question. So in this one in particular, it's Dear Goode Soil, why do I feel so different compared to others? And I think and a lot of times we feel so different because we're comparing ourselves to others. We are seeing these types of people, especially in media, especially particularly living out in LA where I am and being in the entertainment industry. Sometimes it's hard to not see this particular type of person as being someone who is successful in the industry, this person who is extroverted and kind of loud and good with people, and they're quick on their feet and they're so eloquent and they, can crack jokes and make everyone feel invited and welcome, and they can pitch and they can sell, and they're just this all around just like stellar human. And then comes little old me, not even sure if she just made a whole sentence on a podcast that she created that she refuses to go back and re-record, and doesn't quite feel like a saleswoman, and, struggles to articulate things and ideas sometimes. And she can't, she struggles to pitch herself and condense her story into an elevator pitch. And she is a little inconsistent sometimes, and she struggles with depression, and she is funny, but she's more goofy, and she laughs at the wrong, it's like, sometimes I think we see these images of people, and we do, America is built on the backs of, not on the backs of extroverts, because it's built on the backs of a lot of different people who didn't have a voice for a very long time. But it's in a different way built on extroverted tendencies and salesmen and Rockefellers and people who are good at making things happen and strong executive function for my ADHD fam. And it can be really isolating and hard to see yourself in the mix of that, and hard to see yourself being successful in that way, and hard to see yourself fitting into that sort of world when you feel so different. So I think the issue really comes in the comparing. When I'm with my, friend, or, I'm talking to someone who also feels different, and we start getting into that and why we do certain things, and we start relating, and we're like, oh, you do that too. The world feels smaller. It doesn't feel so different. I don't feel so different. I feel like, oh, there's at least one other person who is just as crazy and semi-incompetent and, all over the place, and doesn't have her stuff together as I am. And in that moment, I'm not comparing, I'm relating, and I don't care that I'm not like anyone else, because I'm happy in this moment to be me and to have found someone who's like me, and the funniness that comes in that, and the stories that are exchanged. So I think we really do have to stop comparing ourselves. They say comparison is the thief of joy, and that's comparison in any capacity. It's just when we see certain images and we start, we're kind of conditioned to admire certain qualities in people, and it can really just steal our joy, steal our peace, and make us feel more isolated and other than we actually are. And it's a difficult journey. It is so hard feeling different. It is so hard feeling different. Like, it's lonely. It's very lonely feeling different, and thinking you're different and believing you're different. It's a lonely experience. And I'm telling you, I feel you. Like, I've felt this way, and I even, there are people who feel even more different than I do for various reasons and things that they're going through. And, so it's a rough journey, and it is hard. I just want to affirm and confirm that you're not missing anything. You really aren't missing anything. You were made exactly the way you were made, and that may feel hard at times. And I'm so sorry for that, because I hate when we have to go through hard things. It just bums me out, and I'm sure it bums you out. So I just want to affirm that it is a hard journey to feel different, but we can make it a lot less hard by trying our best to change our mindset and to change our perspective on who we are, understanding and accepting that this is who we are. Like, we are this person. You are the person that you are. Quirks, flaws, disabilities, or, differences, we'll call them. Like, that is who you are. And there are, sure, resources and ways to make the hard easier. But I think a big part of making the life and getting more peace in who we are and more acceptance into who we are is just that. It's that this is who I am. I'm an introvert. I'm not an extrovert. And as badly as I want to be the life of the party, as soon as you throw me in a party, I'm ready to go home. I'm just not built that way. And the more I convince myself that that's a bad thing, the more I convince myself that the life of the party is the better person and they're more worthy and valuable, that doesn't help me. That doesn't make me more peaceful and more joyful. But when I realize like that person is the life of the party and kudos to them and they're killing it and they're amazing, and I'm also having, a blast over here talking to the random person who also struggled to connect to people. And so now we're talking and now we're vibing and now we don't really care anymore and we're swapping stories. Or, I'm ready to go home and now I'm back at home and I'm at peace again and I've got my socks on and I'm watching a movie. Like there's so much joy when we allow ourselves to just kind of sink into who we are, everything that's going on with that, and not allowing what we are not to come in and steal ourselves, because that's just so much energy wasted, and it really does deplete us, and it zaps us of hope. It zaps us of it's a thief of joy. And when we don't have joy, there's darkness and depression and anxiety and sadness and anger, and just a lack of self-like and a lack of self-love. So why do you feel so different? I really do believe it's because A, you're comparing yourself, and B, you might be different. You might be different, and there is nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes, again, accepting the fact that different doesn't mean worse. They're not synonyms. When you Google the word different, worse isn't a synonym. Not that I know of, unless Google's just gone crazy, but they're not the same. And so I think we need to detach those two things. Like different doesn't mean worthless. Different doesn't mean invaluable or not valuable. Different doesn't mean less than. It's something that we've attached to that word. And the more that we change our mindset and start affirming who we are, I am good, I am smart, I am funny, I'm a good listener. I may not be the life of the party, but I can repeat everything you just said to me. And I actually understood what you said and read between the lines and could have a deeper conversation with you. And again, that's not, that's just a gift. That's not a knock on someone who is more extroverted. It's just remembering that you have gifts too. The things that you think are not good and are different are a strength. They are things that maybe society doesn't push as much that they need to push. Like I was talking to a friend last night of like, maybe people need to stop talking so much and listen more, and introverts and people who are different usually are quieter and usually are listening more, and they're more observant, and they're picking up on things that, other people aren't picking up on because they're entertaining. And so it's also in not comparing yourself, it's also looking at the things that you do really well and the things that you are natural at and the things that feel good to you, and learning to appreciate those things. And that really does come with like writing the affirmations, like writing things down that you are. I am this, I am valuable, I am different, but that doesn't mean I am not good. I am different and therefore, have a different perspective. I can offer a different perspective. I can offer different ideas. I look at things differently. I show up differently in spaces. We need more leaders who are different. We need more entertainers who are different. Like different is exciting and interesting. And we've been, I do think in a sense, like we're so conditioned to believe that different isn't, that we struggle to see the beauty in that. And so we need more different people to start seeing the beauty in that and getting the confidence in their differences. And I think that is what's going to make the difference in the way our world works, in the way our society works, in the way that people who are other and who don't fit the mold, our appreciation for them can grow, and we don't outcast everyone. So it really does start with a mindset shift and accepting that this is who you are, writing down the things you love about that, the things that may be more frustrating about that, the things that make life harder about that, and understanding that all of these things are true. And then you can really reflect and navigate your life based on that true information, and not immediately coming from the place of this is who I am and I'm less than. This is who I am and therefore I need to be locked in a closet somewhere and I shouldn't be able to be out and about and I have to be alone for the rest of my life. No, it has to come from a place of self-love. It has to come from a place of you talking to yourself better. And even when you are in spaces, like I went to this thing last night with a friend, and the whole time I just kept judging the situation. I kept judging that I was different. I kept judging like, oh, they're all so good at communicating and they're so good at, be like social butterflying and going around to different groups and introducing themselves. And I don't know anyone and I'm kind of sticking around my friend who I know. And it's also about the judgment. Like the more you're judging other people and again comparing yourself, the more I was judging other people and comparing myself, the worse time I was having. When in reality, if I had just accepted like this is who I am, I'm not her, she's killing it, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna enjoy talking to my friend, I'm gonna enjoy eating, I'm gonna enjoy the little empanadas they had. Once you start letting that stuff go and you stop judging others and you stop judging yourself from their point of view, you can allow yourself to actually sink into your body, to stay in your mind, and just like move around the space as move around the space as just a joyful observer, and you can then also free up the space to talk yourself through the situation. Something I've learned as I've been on my healing journey and as I've been on like my meditation journey and on my peace journey is that I have learned so much better to sort of talk myself through situations and coach myself through situations and comfort myself through situations. So whereas before I would go into a situation and my social anxiety would be on 10 and I'd be judging everyone and freaking out and judging myself through everyone and thinking everyone was staring at me and spotlight effect and all of these things. Now I can better say, Brittany, you're safe. You're okay. No one's looking at you. You are safe in your body. Even if the space isn't safe, you are safe. You can create a safe space within yourself. You are at peace right now. You can do what you want to do. There's no rules to how you have to interact with people. You don't know anyone here. You don't have to know anyone here if you don't want to know anyone here. You're here with your friend. Focus on what she's saying. Enjoy what she's saying. Oh, you guys are relating on something. Oh, this has just got more fun. Oh, you aren't even thinking about people. The more you can get to that point of just like talking yourself through everything and just continuing to regulate your nervous system as you're going through these situations. And I'm talking about a very specific situation, which is like a social situation. But I think that's just an example of just taking the onus off of them, taking your perspective off of them so much and putting it back on you. And that's not selfish. That's not self-absorbed. It's just, let me focus on this for a second. Let me focus on what I've got going on. Let me focus on what's good about me and how when I'm not comparing myself to anyone else, it's just me and I'm not different. I'm just me. And I'm just me at the grocery store and I'm just me at McDonald's and I'm just me at the movies, and I can navigate those spaces like me. And maybe I do something awkward over here and I'm like, oh, that was so awkward. It's okay. I'm a little awkward and that was a little awkward and now I'm going through the awkward feelings, but I can let them pass and I can be awkward without being without being worthless. I can be awkward without it being the worst thing in the world. I can be awkward without being like, you're going to be alone for the rest of your life. You suck. Like it's just, okay, I'm a little awkward. All right. That's just fact. What else is new? And it's just getting to that place is so important. And it really does start with those affirmations, affirming yourself, having compassion for yourself, talking to yourself differently, and really allowing yourself to, and trying your hardest. It's not going to be easy and it's never perfect and it's never completely mastered, but taking your eyes off of other people. Maybe that's limiting social media. Maybe that is, going into places and spaces where you at least have a better chance of being around people who are like you. You really aren't the only one like you, whether you have an interest that's similar to other people, whether there's, an online forum where people are talking about, things that you've experienced. Maybe there's a community group of, people who are talking about a particular topic. Maybe it's being a part of the Goode Soil community and dropping something in the chat that you're going through, or, being like, hey guys, has this ever happened to you? And yeah, it's just about, again, like really embracing that difference, really embracing it and allowing yourself to practice embracing that and practice being you, and practice being compassionate to yourself and kind to yourself, and understand that you are not missing anything. You're not missing a piece. You're just different, and that's okay. So you're killing it. You're doing a good job. I also want to note to my extroverts, I love you. I see you. And I know that you all also feel different sometimes. And, this is not an exclusively introverted or there's extroverts and then there are different people are people who feel different. That's not the case. I know plenty of extroverts who also feel different. And I just want to say I love you. I feel like you guys caught some strays. And that was not my intention. But that has been my particular journey as an introvert, comparing myself to extroverts, which is why I used a lot of those examples. But I see you all too. I love you. I know you're also a part of my community, and you are welcome. I love you. Did I say I love you? So to all my different people, no matter where you are, what your background is, how you present in the world, what you're going through, what you're struggling with, I see you, I hear you, I love you, I feel you, I am with you. I am a proud member of the different gang. Are we a gang? Can we call ourselves a gang? Is that bad? A clique, maybe? I see you guys, and I am so proud to be different, and I hope that you are too, and I hope you start learning to embrace that. So I love you per usual. Thank you so much for listening, and you are good soil. We are good soil. All right, have a great day. Love you. Bye. Thank you for watching another episode of Goode Soil. If you liked this video, be sure to share it with friends and family, because we could all use a little reminding that we are good soil. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.